Ooh, baby, I love it.
Yeah. One of them hot songs. It is Roll Out Live with Speedy and Friends. I be
Speedy.
up in this.
Bitch.
There you go. Get in there, baby girl.
You said it so nice.
Earn you. What?
You turned me off.
Yeah, turn me
couldn't
down.
have.
You turned me like all the way down.
Because you guys said turn yourself down.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say turn like all the way down.
I barely hear anything now.
Right, I don't hear anything.
I hear it now.
Yeah.
I don't hear nothing.
Y'all said.
I don't hear nothing.
loud.
I don't hear
I don't
nothing.
have nothing.
I don't
There
hear
it was.
nothing. Look, he don't even care. Now I can hear something.
Now you can hear yourself.
Bang, bang,
Bang, bang. It is Roll Out Live with Speedy and Friends. I'll be Speedy up in the Speeds. In the house we got.
Karina.
In the house we got.
Shelly Rio.
That ain't the name you went by.
It is
Yes, it
Karina.
is.
No, you was
I
K
said
Dot.
My Instagram is K Dot.
Can we stay with K
But you
Dot?
can-
I
yeah,
like
you
K
can- You
Dot.
can call me K Dot.
Watch your tone.
Oh, I'm sorry. You.
Listen, but what do you go by when you're on stage?
K Dot.
Karina.
Impossible.
So how are you going to tell her that she's
Yeah.
wrong with her own name?
No, but like
He's always
everybody
right,
else,
but
all
he's
my
not.
friends and stuff. Are we friends?
That's what I
Apparently
thought.
Okay, then you call me K Dot.
Hey, K Dot.
Thank you.
In the house we got.
Shelly Rio.
In the house we got.
Memphis Will.
Behind the glass curtain, the one, the only, my first seat.
Big Don right here.
And in the building, right here at the table, with the great table. K Dot, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's see if you got skills. K Dot, who we got in the house?
We have the lovely, lovely. Before I say, I don't want to mispronounce your last name.
Riker.
Thank you.
Like Isla.
We have Miss Lucia Riker, the nickname Lady Tyson in the house.
Lady Tyson.
Yeah,
Whoa,
she got them
Yes,
hands.
she does.
boy.
She just
This
showed
pretty-
me a taste of it.
This pretty lady got hands?
Yeah,
Yes.
man, she got hands.
You,
I used to.
you knocking people out? How many knockouts?
36.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Shucks.
Yeah.
I used to be a bit crazy, yes.
She got
Bing,
some George Foreman eyes.
Look right through you. Hey, Grill. when did you start boxing?
God, when did I started kickboxing when I was 14. Wow. So that was the first combat sport. Or actually not the first. I started judo when I was 6.
Uh-huh.
Then I fenced.
Get a little closer on there.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It's kind of intimidating, that thing.
Sorry.
I have to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Tennis of
You always,
I ain't-
always
I normally would say
Has a
I
better
normally
head.
would say something,
like,
but you got hands.
Y'all
You
might
might,
say you want to say that to her.
yeah, she might hit me. Bing. Oh,
They
shit.
still hurt.
It's also, so you started kickboxing at 14
Yes.
and then went to boxing when?
When I moved to America, like in 1994,
Mm-hmm.
I moved here, and then I didn't know what to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized when you want to get your green card, you need to do what you're good at.
Better do something, get that green and all.
Well, there
Where are
was
you originally from?
the Netherlands. I'm from Amsterdam.
Okay.
So there was this trainer, Stan Ward,
Mm-hmm.
and he watched me train every day diligently because training had become like a therapy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to train every day. And he said, let me make you world champion. And I said, well, I'm a world champion already. He's like, no, boxing. I said, I don't like boxing. And he's like, oh, give me a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, after about 6 months, I said, okay.
a world champion at what prior to boxing?
At kickboxing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then,
Which is dope because not only do you have to look out for your hands, you might kick the shit out of me.
I
So
don't know.
now I'm
I'm
here.
starting to think you a masochist. You're getting all these women on here.
Well, you know,
Hey, well, you know, if you want to get beat up, that's your preference.
might want to get
Speedy, she sat down and just really gave me a hollow hit, like a hollow,
to see where you stood.
and put a frog in
there
my
was
arm.
nothing.
Like I said,
I tried to stroke it.
right. She's like, hey, and put a frog in my arm. I was like, whoa, I still feel it.
Now, which did you probably, I guess you enjoyed boxing better than kickboxing?
You know, if I ask you, who did you enjoy better, your first wife or your second? Like,
Yes. He's had like 8. Whom did you enjoy first?
That was a good way to put it.
I'm thinking, let me,
That's the question of the year, right there.
I enjoyed the
let me
first,
tell you, when you-
the first pussy I got,
yeah.
or this last set I got.
Well, the thing is, while you were with the first one, you thought this was the shit,
And,
right?
yeah, incredible.
And the same now with the last one for you. Like, you think she's the shit.
The shit,
Well,
yeah.
that's what I had with kickboxing. When I did kickboxing, I thought it was the most amazing sport I ever did. And when I boxed, I felt the same with boxing.
And who did you beat that we would know? Like fans would be like, oh, I know who.
Oh, my dog's loose. Who did I beat that you know?
dog here?
God, I challenged.
Hilarious! I didn't even know the dog. was in- I heard the pitter patter, but I thought some water had fell over. I said, then Will then knocked over his cup of water. We're just gonna play this shit
I
off.
was like, well, I think it needs to go out, but I'm not gonna say anything.
He's trying to get out.
Lose. He can't get out. The door's
Mr.
closed.
Jones.
What's his name?
So, Mr. Jones.
Oh,
The dog's name is Mr. Jones?
Yeah,
You
that's
heard?
the dog's name.
Mr. Jones.
all right, Mr. Jones.
Got a thing going on.
Don't leave, no, Mr. Jones. No. All right, so
Anyway, I ended my career with like a big fight. It was $1 million fight in Las Vegas. But first, I challenged Layla Ali at that time, who was upcoming and who basically had, she stepped.
Fan base.
Yeah, well, she stepped in,
She had a brand.
making 40 grand
Yeah.
just because of her
Shit.
dad's name. She made a deal if her dad would come, that bring in the fans. So, so I challenged her because she beat Christy Martin, and Christy Martin was my opponent. I built that opponent. You got to build an opponent by chasing them and really getting some PR behind it. And then she kind of took her in front of my nose, and I said, okay, now it's on. And she didn't want to fight me.
oh shit.
So, and even though there was a weight difference between her and Christy Martin, there was also a weight difference between me and her. But at that point, I didn't care because it was like, hey, you're in my street now. Like,
Yeah.
I loved her. I respected her. I thought you're going to create a lot of value for women with your name. But when you step in my street, you step in my street.
And what weight were you at the time?
I fought 140.
140.
What,
Yeah,
what was
140,
our
145. She was probably up in 160.
But you would have
Just
moved
wrong.
up if she would have come
I
down. with it.
wouldn't have moved anywhere. I would have just stepped in there and do what I got to do. Like, that's how
How
it
about-
works. Like, I mean, the excuse was, okay, I'm too light, but if you fight Christy Martin, that's my opponent, that's my weight class, then you can fight me too.
Right. How about Joe Frazier's daughter? Because Lady Ali fought Joe Frazier's daughter.
You know what is interesting?
And that was like a big
when
thing.
you have a dad with like a big law firm, right? Even though you get like bad grades or like you get your degree, but you were not that great of a lawyer or law
Or
school
you pay
student.
for your kids to go to college.
You just step
Right.
into the law firm and you inherit the whole thing. That's the same thing with boxing. You don't need to be a great fighter. If your dad was a great fighter, you'll just step in, they groom you, they market you, and that's it. So when
Get you a
talk
couple
about-
fights and
So you
make this
basically
money.
saying Fraser's daughter was trash.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying,
Okay, we'll say it for you.
I feel
Hey,
like,
bitch, you trash.
I feel like that's where
I
it was
feel like-
going.
I feel like-
Yeah. I'm like, where is this going right now?
I would never trash another fighter because everybody steps through those ropes has a lot of courage. But what I'm telling you is like everybody wanted to see Ali Frazier. Like we lived back in those days and
Yes.
wanted to relive
Yes.
that, and now we relived it through these women. It had nothing to do with their background. It had everything to do with us wanting to relive history.
Now, did you capture any belts?
I have 6 belts, yes.
Oh, do you keep them or you got to give them back?
I polished them off. I got a lot of awards. I went through my drawer and I thought, at some point you leave it behind you. You know, like I work with my gifts and talents that I had as a fighter, and now I empower people. Like I remember I was coaching one fighter. We had 5 world titles. At one point we knocked out a girl and she ended up in a coma. I'm holding this woman, blood's all over me, and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Right? I'm praying all night for this woman to wake up from a coma. And I told my fighter, I said, you're not going to raise that belt until she wakes up. And then 2 fights after that, I'm sleeping at the
Bedside.
of my fighter,
Right.
waking her up every hour, wondering if she's going to wake up. And then I said, that's it. And I prayed to God. I walked the street. I cried my eyes out. And I said, God, did you give me this gift really to put people in wheelchairs? Come on. So I cried and I yelled. I said, show me why I have this gift, because I have a gift. And he showed me. You know, I did a coaching training. I give lectures all over the world. I empower young people like that have been off track, like juvenile hall kids. I do a TV show called Dream School. We have all these celebrities teach a masterclass for these kids that have been kicked out of, any school and even out of home. So it's the same gift I have. When I stand in front of a crowd, I use the same gift I used to knock out people with, but now I see openings to lift them up. I
Right.
said, so it's the same gift.
Beautiful.
Right.
But
Now,
I
did the-
needed to go that deep in boxing and really, it's an extreme sport. It's an extreme lifestyle. For 23, 24 years, all I did was eat, sleep, and breathe combat sport.
So she runs, and I know part of being a boxer is running. So your daily run would be how far?
I hated running. I hated
I
running.
love running.
Boxing
I
is
hate
not
running.
about
Really?
running. The running is
Well,
is,
it
is
builds
just
stamina.
support the stamina and the legs. I would do sprints, wind sprints. I would do the Santa Monica stairs. I would run
that's
them up
good.
10 times just for explosive power. But I hated running. I still do actually.
Me too.
Did the girl
I
ever
love
wake up?
it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she did wake up, but she
Oh,
had a
good.
scar from the front here to the back here. She's a
That
single,
was your
single
fighter, or
mom.
your fighter did that
No,
to
my
her?
fighter did it to her. But the thing is, this is the interesting of people. Like we were the underdog 7-2. So the audience is watching this. This is in Sweden. They're watching this fight, and everybody expected this girl, the champion, to win the fight. When she lost the fight, they didn't even realize this girl was in trouble. They were all just holding on to what they expected. And then I saw what happened, and I grabbed her. And then the doctor, you know, who was supposed to check her eyes, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he went out and smoked a cigarette. And I'm like, dude, you got to do your job. Like, she collapsed.
That's crazy.
And yeah, that's boxing also.
kinda like the
this
movie,
year, this year, 4 boxers died.
What?
4
This year.
boxers died this year alone. This is no joke. It is one of the most beautiful sports I've ever done. Right? And yet, there is a danger aspect that people underestimate when you
You should probably run.
Yeah.
Did
He should probably run. Speedy.
what was the name of that movie with Clint
Well,
Eastwood?
she hate to run.
Who?
$1 Million Baby.
Clancy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
$1 Million Baby, because
Clint.
he stood by the bedside of his fighter. Remember?
Exactly.
So that's
Yeah, that movie was an impressive movie. That has more movies within one movie. There's a loyalty when you see Morgan Freeman, the loyalty he had. Clint Eastwood, how he gets screwed over by this fighter. He gave his heart to this fighter. And then the next morning, he's on his knees teaching Hilary Swank the basics of boxing. Like, where in our life, when we get stabbed in our heart, we turn around and we open it again? We
Yeah.
don't.
That's me.
Not these days.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Sound like
we
stand
still-
up.
So do you
And
still
8
train?
kids
Or you
later.
still you in the gym? You still at the bag? Just
And, you know, I don't hit the bag. Like, my body hurts like hell. Like,
Oh.
I have a
Dang.
C6, C7 problem. Yeah, if I hit the bag, my shoulders hurt, so I do some Tai Chi.
so you just hit a human.
And I do Pilates.
Pilates.
That was nothing.
You did hit him. I saw it. So we got some paperwork we need to sign.
Well, there's one thing. No, there's one thing I'm proud of. It's sports science, actually, and maybe you could watch it. It's sports science.
I love that show. I
Yeah,
love when they
where
do it.
they did a test. They tested my punching power, and I had 920 horsepower in my left hand. So it's no longer there, but it was there. At one
No, that's
point.
the one. I think it's at least 900.
It's in the 90s.
Could you give Speedy a shot just so he can see the frog that you
In the
give a
belly.
person? Well, he ain't gonna feel
hell,
that. Hit him
K-Dog?
somewhere he can feel it.
It's funny. Hey,
It said in my bag.
well, you wore the shirt. Shit, you wore the Target.
Oh, I do have the greatest ever.
Was that on purpose?
No, I didn't. No.
No,
Oh, okay.
But
the Frazier one.
I need your shirt now.
My shirt.
I need a shirt that has your name on it.
Oh, I was
have
like, wait,
tons of
what?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
don't
gonna
play.
say,
Like
he
strike
definitely
shirt.
should be
I'm
selling
gonna send it to you.
Oh, there it is there. Fans are going to be
Oh.
able to get the T-shirt. So you're not boxing now. You teach
Yeah.
empowering women. And you're saying Pilates. And what else do you do now?
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi, which is when they...
It's a slow. It's actually it's really powerful.
See that? Yeah,
Well,
almost.
Well,
A little
almost.
stiff in the fingers.
I'm grabbing shit in the air. I
Crazy.
feel like I'm at the
Relax
park.
the
I feel like I'm at the
fingers.
park. We said relax my
Relax
fingers.
the fingers.
That's more like
there
high
you
C.
go. No, relax.
You look like a wackadoodle. I have a question.
Yes.
So I don't box, but I do take boxing classes.
Yes.
Like, so we punch the punching bag. The trainer, he used to box, so he'll have the mitts up.
Yes.
So he'll wrap your hands for you because
Yes.
I'm like, I still haven't figured that out. So what I did was buy these gloves that you put on, and then you could put them in your boxing glove because I don't have patience and I'm always late, and so I'm like, I don't want to disrupt the class so he can wrap me.
Yeah.
But I'm finding that those gloves that I'm putting on underneath my gloves are still, my fingers are still bothering me. Like, do you recommend like
What about your fingers bother you? Because I see
Like-
your nails are pretty long. That could
Oh.
be an issue.
well, it's this part. It's like when I crack my knuckles a lot, and
Okay.
I'm like, I have the early
Don't say it.
signs of carpal tunnel.
Don't say it.
oh,
I mean, I already went to the doctor.
You don't want to say
I
it.
mean, I don't want to have it, but I also work with my hands. But I'm like, I love boxing because it's like, for me, it's fun. I don't like yoga. I don't like I like to run and
every
box.
excuse why
If-
our
if-
hands hurt.
like it's really
Punching rocks. I don't know why they
Hold
hurt.
on, hold on. Shots, make a question. So, it's important that you get the right gloves because some gloves are not for people with long fingers. So
Oh.
then you cannot really make a fist. So you start punching with this part.
Right.
You have to make sure that the glove is big enough that you can really make a fist, that there's enough room for your fingers in it. And you gotta cut your nails because that will take up some space in the glove and it'll hurt the glove. So you
Got
pull
it.
it open. Second, I would stop hitting the bag and start hitting the double in bag. And maybe a
You said a
water
double
bag.
end
The
bag?
what?
The double in.
What
The
What's
bag
double-
is
that?
that?
Okay.
The
hey.
bag that comes back.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh,
It-
because
it's
the one
really
we are
tight.
hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, it's really tight between the ceiling and the floor.
Got it.
And you need to tighten it up with one elastic band on one side and a rope on the other, so it's really sturdy. Because it will not hurt your joints.
Got it.
And then you hit the speed bag. You can get enough workout on a double in bag because it's all cardio. Then on on a water bag instead of a regular heavy bag, because it's just not. When you go every day, it's just not good for your joints. And
Right.
if you already have problems with your joints, do not continue because you don't. You need your hands.
I know, but I love doing boxing.
Well, you can still box. You
But you
just
ain't
like
wanna
you
cut your
just gotta
nails.
adapt.
Oh, I don't care about cutting my nails. I'm like,
You just
that
gotta
doesn't bother
adapt.
me.
You get a water bag. You get a good workout. You do the double in. You get a good workout. You do the speed bag. You get a great workout.
Right.
You can
You
still
better
get
buy
that
some
anger
mitts.
out. You can still get it all out. Trust me.
That's
I know,
what it
I
is,
do. I do
anger.
have a lot of
So
anger.
this is
Yes,
speed
you do.
that when
Right.
it hangs and come like this.
Exactly.
You can't use the free
Yeah.
mitts.
Comes
You,
back
you
with-
should never do that, brother. That wasn't a good look for you. Not with your mustard
That's
shirt
nice.
on. That's
That's how
like
you
Still love it.
no, you did like this. You went like this. But you was moving
Oh, I
nothing
have
but
another
legs.
question too, actually.
Yes,
So when I go to my boxing class, we have to do a stance. So it's sometimes it's the left leg up front, and then we got to switch to the right leg up front.
Yeah.
Why is it that the whole time I'm using my upper body, punching, but my legs are like hurting me? And I'm like, I don't understand. Why do my legs hurt standing in this one position that I have to switch positions in the middle before we're supposed to be switching our legs? Like, do you know why that happens?
So
or-
your legs hurt because you're using them a lot, or
Hilarious.
like no, like so basically, like so when you're standing,
Yeah.
like, and so then when you're in your stance,
Show us,
and
Shelly.
you're like punching, like my leg starts getting. I'm just like I gotta switch legs. I can't. Like I
Yeah.
got like do you know?
Well,
what
you
I'm saying?
punch right because there's a lot of power coming from your legs if you punch right. And the road work that we used to do a lot is just to make your legs strong. So it's really important that your legs are strong, and a lot of power comes from your legs. So that's the good thing. You're working your legs.
Right.
So and switching position, it's more like an aerobic thing. So you get developed on both sides, because I have like this side that is like when I get a massage, they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I say, "Well, I boxed," because this side is way more developed. So
Got it.
aerobics, you have
From
to switch
throwing
sides.
throwing your softball.
Her
No,
nine.
but my left was my
That's
power
her
hand.
punch.
You know what I just realized about you?
Yes.
Just now looking at you.
Yeah.
This is just how humble you are. I just brought up the movie $1 Million Baby, and just realized you was the character that put her in the hospital. You played the character that put
honestly-
her in the hospital.
Honestly, when that happened in real life, when that fight happened, I switched to that scene, because when I had that scene, because the movie was before this happened, I looked and I had a flashback, and I thought, I've seen this before, but it was in that movie. Like, I used the same emotions looking at Hillary's
Yeah, I didn't
fight.
like your character, by the way.
No,
I
I
just
was
want
the
you
most
to know
hated
that.
actor in 2005. Trust me. I got
want
a
you to
lot
know
of.
that.
They
I was so
just had
pissed
a
off
moment.
at you at that movie. I was so
They
pissed
had a
off at
moment.
you in that
So
movie.
sorry.
I was like, I dare her, hit her while she was down, and put her in the. She made a. She put her
No,
in the.
I didn't hit her when she was down. I hit her when she turned around.
Right, unfairly though.
It was a rhyme also.
Right, and they put her in the hospital for, and then this is like what the whole movie is based on.
You know what?
I'm sitting here and looking at her. I bought up the movie, and she didn't even mention that was her. I'm like, wait a minute, why does edges look familiar to me?
Hilarious.
You said her edges.
The edges, the face structure, the fist.
Well,
It's like, wait a minute, that was you. That was
I
you.
starved myself for that
Netherland
movie to
edges.
make
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
Because Hillary is a really light girl, so
Right.
I was naturally 140 pounds, so I went down to like I think it was 125 for that fight.
I can tell you
Make
was
it
a real
realistic.
fight in the movie.
Yeah.
That happened
And-
in real life.
That type
Yeah,
of
later
fight?
on.
Yeah, later on it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Whoa.
that whole
That particular
thing.
scene
Yeah.
they act. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, there was no chair, but it was, you know,
it ended
it
up
was a-
happening in real life.
It was a knockout and a coma. That was very similar. Yes.
Wow.
That's crazy.
How did you like acting?
I loved it.
You loved it.
Every part of it.
All right.
Yeah, I loved that movie particular because I could bring forth all my knowledge of boxing, all my knowledge of acting training, and I could also train Hillary. So it was a combination of everything.
That's dope.
Yeah, you humble because most people would have. As soon as somebody brought up the movie, the first thing they would have said was, "I was in that movie," and you didn't even say you was in the
Well,
movie.
I
It
would've-
was one of the main characters.
I
And
would've
here
did-
Speedy is doing 10 minutes of comic view and tell me every second
Right.
that he hit.
I even told you seconds when I was backstage. You know what I did backstage?
That's great. Wait, so I have a question. Have you ever had to fight anyone you dated?
Fight? Yes, I did actually.
And who won?
I did.
See, I was there, felt your
Right.
butt
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
motherfucker,
Well,
what?
the thing is, like, it's very complicated because when you're a woman, like I dated a man at that time.
Right.
When you're a woman and you date a strong man, you never wonder what is he going to do if he gets mad. But vice versa, men do think that.
Were you a fighter at this time you were dating him?
Yeah, I was.
Well, he's
Was
a
he a
stupid man.
fighter, though? He may have been a
Niggas
fighter.
dumb.
he was also a fighter.
I'm about to say, yeah, fighters date fighters.
Fighters
Oh,
fight.
really?
Fighters
No.
fight. Well, it was a build up of resentment. I mean, I was like 23 at that time. It was a build up of resentment. So the moment he was also into combat sports, so he put a headlock on me, and I didn't like it. I said, "Don't do that." And then my brother used to do that as a kid, so I start flipping, and then I got out, and then we fought for 3 hours.
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
Yeah, because when you're a fighter, you're a fighter.
Do me a favor, could you go sit on that end of the
Yeah, I need you to hit Will
You know what I'm saying?
for the next 3 hours.
For 3 hours.
No, but it was fair because when you're both fighters, you stick with the rules. You know, it's like not like some domestic violence.
So y'all fought
shit.
for 3 hours, no referee.
That's the
No
whole
referee.
thing. That's
Did
when you
y'all
just
give
like,
y'all own self a break?
pretty much.
No break. I mean, the break was the knockdown on the liver shot, and that was the end.
You won?
I
With a
almost
liver
said
shot?
that, with a liver shot.
That means you got a nice little. Yeah.
Safest place to.
I
reach.
really want her to punch you just one time.
No,
in your arm.
no, you don't want her to.
Just a
or in
little
the
bit.
or
so
in the
you-
belly, it's soft.
He's
so
not
it
gonna
won't
feel
hurt.
that.
It's
I want him to punch it. It's better like a punching bag.
Yeah, that's what we're not gonna do.
Wait,
We're
so
not
did you
gonna-
guys break up after you fought,
Did you make up after y'all
or like
fought?
how was that?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you
No,
either
it's
made
all
up or you broke up.
It's
You either
all
made up or
about-
broke
you
up. That's
remember
what
what
that-
happened after the
I
fight.
said, I said, if you bring this out in me, then there's something wrong in this relationship.
Right.
So-
The headlock is what's wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all was
Headlock.
having a romantic time. It was the headlock that gave you a flash.
And I'm pretty.
It took y'all 3 hours to figure that out.
That's what I'm saying. Look, babe, I'm not gonna put you in the headlock no more. Let's go eat. Did nobody ever come
At
up with
some
that
point,
conclusion?
at some point, somebody went, "Hey, look here, bitch.
Both my eyes closed.
Yeah,
I
you done
can't
hit me
focus.
3 times. Nigga, if you tiptoe past this camera one more goddamn
Right.
time,
You know we can see you, right?
I'm telling you, man.
I don't think he cares.
he's my homie.
I think he's
He
security.
keep tiptoeing past.
You
the
know
camera.
everybody can
He's
see
a
you on the
bouncer.
camera.
He's a bouncer.
So have you ever
Yes.
coached any champions? Because I heard
Yes.
you coached a UFC champion.
I did. I coached Ronda Rousey, and I coached Diane Prazak, and I coached a few European world champions.
And
Yes.
Speedy, these are all top-ranked fighters. By
No,
the way.
I'm into MMA.
Huh?
I'm into MMA
I'm
and
into
boxing
young
as
MMA.
well.
It's a joke.
I took a photo with an
It only,
MMA
it
fighter.
only fits because you said it. Anybody else, I'd been like,
That's why I said it.
So you're not training? It's everything's just about
I did.
motivation speaking
Yeah,
now.
because I did a little bit of commentary for Strike Force for a
Okay.
while, and
I like Stark
the,
Force.
the thing is, the moment I do the color commentating. So after they got beat up, they would come to me, and I put my hand on them and I ask them, "Well, what was it like when you got that knee in your face and you cut open your head and the blood started pouring out? How did you feel?" Like, and they're like, because they were not fully present yet, and people would hit their head. Hey, man, congratulations, man, congratulations. All I wanted was to just give you a hug and say, "Are you okay?" But I had to push that microphone in your face and ask you these weird questions about all the blood that would go in everywhere and the violence, because it was quite intense. So, and then I realized also in making weight, some guys would have to drop 30 pounds in a day. I was like,
In a day.
in a day.
How do you do that? I
exactly.
need to know.
Well, you don't want to
Please
know.
tell
You
me.
don't want to know.
So
I
then I,
really
start
do.
to wonder, like, wow, this is really intense. So, and I'm an empath.
And
so I
dangerous.
exactly. So I thought, do I want to be part of this? Like, you talk about somebody getting hurt and somebody, like, blood's pouring out his forehead,
Oh my
like a
God.
water fountain, and I'm talking about, how did that feel? And I'm like, okay, that's it. So,
I got 2 questions for you.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead on, Memphis.
My bad. Have
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Have a male trainer.
Thanks for
Have you
having
ever
me.
trained a male?
Yes, I did. As
male
kickboxer.
fighter?
Yeah, as
But
a
I said
kickboxer, I did.
Okay. And see, I'm listening to how you want to walk away from the sport because of all the things that's taking place. I don't know if you ever seen HBO Ballers with Dwayne Johnson and the football players' health. I'm trying to see, are you going to maybe take a stand against the sports to try to make it better for the fighters?
I'm glad we got there.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know,
where the fuck
the-
he was
the
going?
thing is, when-
Went down
when
6
young,
lanes.
When you're young, you're crazy, right? Like, I wanted to fight for the rights for women. I wanted women's boxing to be in the Olympics. So I did what I could. Now I see the head trauma in boxing also, and I'm waking up because I'm growing up also. So yeah, there's a responsibility. But what am I gonna develop a headgear with like a whiplash on it? I mean,
You
it's-
could.
I could, but it's
I was
difficult because you
thinking I
cannot
was
move
thinking
your
That's
head.
a good idea.
You
We
cannot
need
move
to
your
do
head.
this, Speedy.
So the thing is that people need to take responsibility for what they do with their lives. There's motorsports, there's car sports where people die all the time. It's the same in boxing. You need to take responsibility for, is this what you want to do with your life? And most of us are very wounded people, and that's why we chose boxing. And the more you heal, the less you want to choose a sport like that.
So you're just more into educating as far as
Yes.
and
Yeah.
to hold yourself accountable, be
and-
knowledgeable of what you're doing.
And I think too, if you're in the sport, you at least need to know where your out should be. Like, how long am I going? Like you said, how long do I want to do this?
Well,
and what am I
that's-
trying
that's
to
like
achieve?
Saying, that's like saying to a drug addict, well, how long are you going to shoot until you die? Because it's addictive. This is an adrenal sport. There's not just coming off the sport lifestyle-wise, but there is actually a receptor in the brain that needs a fix. And the fix is the extreme sport. And if you stop with the extreme sport, that receptor is going to need to be fed. So what are you going to do? You're going to start fighting with your wife or your husband, or you're going to drink and start fighting.
Put me in the
bars.
headlock. Now we got a problem.
The most
I
That
think
was
she's. I
before
think she's
that.
right though, Speedy.
No,
Because
no,
I'm
I'm
like,
kidding.
No, no,
She's
she's right.
like,
Because once I stopped training in boxing, like I was punching holes in my wall. That's why I have all those holes in my house.
Well, that's group home stuff. We talking about
Yeah,
like
but that's the
sports.
release.
Wow.
No,
That's
it's but it's
release.
not group home. It's like
keep
I
it
have
at
anger
sports.
issues. But like once I get back into
Well, bring
working
back
out,
the
like
you-
I don't
yeah.
get angry as
There's
angry
definitely
anymore.
healthy components to
Right.
releasing, and
Yeah.
we need that with this crazy pent-up energy we have these days.
Right.
However, as an athlete, the high of being a gladiator is one, but coming off a withdrawal of the receptor that needs to be fed is underestimated with most.
I'm with you.
extreme
Speedy can't
sports.
relate to this. We talking about sports. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. Shit. you couldn't fuck with me. I'll ask you this because I did ask, and I'll ask everyone else at the
relate.
table. We asked each other this earlier because for Shelly, going to Disneyland is like it's her. I won't say happy place, but she feels like
Her
calm.
Neverland. Her Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
Like I let all my worries. Like I don't
Okay.
think about.
So-
like,
So
Move
where would be?
your belly? Because you
My
keep
belly?
knocking.
Oh, I
you
was
keep
like,
knocking my mic out.
No. It's not that.
we
It's,
always
Put it on
do
your
this,
belly.
though. We always have this
it's
problem.
this plug. It wiggles around.
That's
touching your
it
belly.
wiggles. That's what she said.
Just trying to help you out.
That's what she
So,
said.
so the question is, where's the place where you feel like if somebody called you, you probably wouldn't answer the phone call because you're having it relaxed.
Like it takes all your stress away.
Yeah.
Like you don't even think about anything bad.
Oh shit! God damn it!
Yeah, I can't hear a damn thing.
The
Hello?
dog scared the shit out of me.
Hello.
So confused. Oh, the dog? I'm allergic. I'm like
Man.
paranoid.
I need another cord.
The dog scared the shit out of me. He hit my leg. I went, "Who the fuck has got these feet on me?"
Hold on, she's looking for the answer. to the
Okay,
question.
go ahead.
honestly, the gym.
Be in the gym. That's
Being
been
in
it.
being in the gym because I can tune everything out when I'm very active, so I need to be doing something. So the gym is very relaxing.
That would be my second place.
Mine's is same as Shelly, but opposite. Mine's is like Six Flags.
So you get the Six Flags.
You're like an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah,
huh?
because I've been
No.
to
Yeah,
Six
I'm not.
Flags by
So
myself.
he's a 211. You
And
the
you
you
get on the
define
ride.
why.
I literally would get on the ride.
And if somebody's calling you, you probably like,
And I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm
He
chilling.
like,
I'm walking
yeah, I'm
around
on
Six
Colossus.
Flags.
I don't really want to talk right
having
now.
a good time. And the cool part about it is, although I'm there by myself, it don't really quite feel like it because no matter what line I'm in for the ride, me and whomever,
You talking.
we end up talking about the ride.
Yeah.
And I never ride the ride by myself. By the time I get up there, somebody else
Yeah.
hop in my ride
Yeah.
with me. So it's just really a fun place for me.
All right. And then for you would be,
What is the most amazing place for me to be?
yeah, it's just relaxing. You forget about what's going on.
You
around
know,
you.
not a headlock, but go ahead.
Definitely not.
That was a long time ago. No, the place where I feel blissed out of my brain is when my spiritual teacher is in town and I go sit with her.
Okay.
Okay.
And
That's dope.
it's an hour, 2 hours.
It could be 20 hours.
Get out of
Oh,
our
wow.
business.
Well,
man.
she
She's
fought
coming-
for 3
I-
hours,
I
so we
invite
know
you
she
to
can.
come.
here
Hold
for.
on, I
Speedy,
invite
she
you
fought
to
for
come.
3 hours, so we know she can sit down for 10 hours.
Headlock. He's a
Let me
problem.
tell you, I invite you all to come. She comes in town on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
She is from India. Her name is Amma. And she is, that adrenal rush you want when you ride, you're not going to need that. You're
Listen,
gonna
I
sit
believe
there,
in
you're gonna be
Jesus. You're
blissed
not going
out
to turn
of
me
your
over with your
Man.
Well, if
Ungar
Jesus
ring
would be
gate Tina
alive-
Turner
said-
cure.
I'm not kidding you. If
Wow.
Jesus would be alive, you would experience Jesus in a similar way. This
Here's my
woman-
question: how much is it free?
It's free.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
What-
Put something in the
what-
coin. All right.
Well, let's set it. Can she come here to the station?
She
Nah,
doesn't-
I wouldn't.
let me tell you.
Yeah,
I-
that's an inconvenience.
she's
The
to the-
lady who
she's
flew
to
all
the-
the way
No,
from
she's
India.
probably like
For the
she just said it.
She comes to the stage. She comes to what is it, Hollywood and Franklin, like Low Hotel.
Oh, she got
Oh, the low.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
sold
yeah.
out already. Like the retreat is sold
got some
out. But the
rupees.
free program is the 21st and 22nd,
It's a lot of meditating.
and it's for free for everyone.
A lot of
Yeah.
meditating.
Well, she's got, she hugs people, and when she hugs people, she transfers an energy into you that opens your heart. And let me tell you,
So Memphis is looking at that's the devil.
well, I'm sorry.
I mean, I will say,
Sound like
I don't
y'all-
always
hey,
agree. I like
Speedy, this starting to sound like a cult.
I'm like, I don't
She
always agree
hugs
with
you.
Memphis, but I'm kind of like on the same page. with
I
you.
Transfer
understand.
spirits
No,
in you.
I'm on the university. Yes,
Don't,
Memphis
don't
like
follow
yeah, she
blindly,
about
but don't
to see
reject
the-
blindly.
the
Yeah,
demon.
there you go. You gotta
Said-
take it with a grain of salt. See it. See
But
for
we are
yourself.
spiritual beings, so it's easy to invite spirits.
I
that
let
shouldn't be
Speedy
there
go
there
first
sometimes.
and see how his heart come
Bring your
back.
blessed
hold
oil.
on, hold on. I hear a lot of judgment, and you haven't done your research.
There you
This
go.
woman
Yeah.
has moved more people in the world.
Hey,
Like, there were 500,000 people on her birthday. This woman has donated so much money to charities, to people in need worldwide, built universities, hospitals that help people for free. So before you judge this woman,
Go
check
see.
her out.
no, I don't. I'm
And
not
what's her
judging.
name?
Amma.
Amma.
You think she want to go on a boat cruise?
I'm not
We
doing-
just want
Here
somebody
you
to
go.
invest
Wow.
in a boat cruise.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop
She can
it.
meditate at the
And
top
how
of the
many-
boat.
How many rupees
Well, we got a show going on.
she can cash out?
Hilarious. We need her to cash out to the
This is gonna be
radio
Memphis
station.
last day. man. This is be his last motherfucking cut. Memphis
I am
mic.
very-
I'm
Cut-
getting
we gonna
dizzy.
cut them-
That's so funny.
We're gonna cut your 2 chains. The number to call into is 818
Is that
914 4087 is the number to call into. It is Roll Out Live with Speedy and Friends. This is fantastic. I'm feeling it. The dog scared the shit out of me. I just want to make sure we got that right. Pretty sure I got a little leakage.
Wow. Thanks.
So I know now. Is it that when you're there at her event, are you sitting or is it just?
It's just a gathering where people are actually being.
Because I don't like to sit down and cross my legs.
No, you
You don't like to
have
do a
to.
lot of
You
things.
don't like
Probably
to sit
can't.
down.
Probably
You
can't
That's
do
what
that.
you've been doing this
There's
whole
lot-
time.
No, that's different.
Right,
I'm talking
there's-
about on the floor.
There's live music. You
He's
can
such
walk
a
around.
weirdo.
You can eat.
This is going to
Eats,
be.
oh, Speedy's
like a
there.
big
if
I'm
you
about to
need
say,
it,
if
for
it's going to
sure.
be Twinkies there, you got Speedy.
What's Twinkie?
Twinkies.
Yeah, I don't
cake-
do
cupcake.
No.
Twinkies is sitting
I,
next to
me
you.
either. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'll make sure they're there.
There you go.
You're looking at a human
Thank you, baby
Twinkie.
girl. Thank you. Ignore these heathens,
Oh my gosh.
these cis bumps.
Hey, Alma is gonna
It is Monday.
cure me. So
It is now time. If you can hang out with
Are
us,
you coming? Are you coming?
I'll come. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll exchange number with you.
Yes,
I'd
ma'am.
love to see you.
And I'll exchange.
I want to come because I want to get the
No, you
hug.
can't come.
I want a hug
You want a
You can have
hug?
a.
because she said you feel
you
the.
transfer.
Michelle doesn't give you
trans-
hugs?
Not like that lady gonna give me one.
No, she said when you hug, you should transfer energy.
Transfer
That's what I think that she does,
500,000
because-
people at her birthday party.
Because let me tell you, my first
was
hug
lit?
was quite intense. Like I got silenced, like my mind, with the chatter in my head, boom, it was like quiet for like 3 hours. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, she like human Kush.
No, but it's like frightening to be quiet in your mind because we're chatting all the time.
Yeah.
And then after that, I cried for 2 weeks.
Oh, no,
wow.
I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
Well, we do know.
That's not gonna be a good look. I want to thank y'all for watching my show.
I had
got
like
hugged.
every morning I write my journal. As I wrote my journal, I wrote about my career, and I wrote about how many people I hurt, and I wrote about how I hurt myself, all seeking love in the wrong places. So it was like we seek love by making money, we seek love by fame, we seek love by whatever, women, fancy cars, and I thought, wow, what have I been doing? So that was the awakening, and then I apologized to my body because I put my body through hell. I
So you were
was so
healing.
extreme. So yeah, it was
You was
healing for
healing.
me.
It was
It was
healing.
awakening and healing. So I'm very grateful for that.
Hey, if you need to be healed, however it's gonna be, you can come to. When is it again?
It's the 21st and 22nd.
Of this month.
That's this
Yeah,
like
this
a
Thursday.
couple days. From
Oh,
now.
yeah.
That's this Thursday and
Thursday
this
and Friday.
Friday to be
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah,
To be what?
exactly.
specific.
Yeah.
Pacific.
David Ruffin keep coming at me over there too.
Hey,
She got jokes though. I ain't mad.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm watching that car.
She got some great
Well,
ones.
you know
David
what
Ruffin is
said?
landing.
Hey, you said
It
what
is
David
now-
Ruffin said, ain't no temptations without me.
It is now time. As soon as we get some music, she'll have music attached to this. It is now time for Real Talk with Shelly Rio.
It is. Why don't you prepare me? Like
I
didn't
just
know-
said, "Are you ready?" You said yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I just said yes because I didn't know what you were saying.
Oh.
So I just went
So
along
you
with
just
whatever.
you just roll whatever. Shout out to
Right.
compliances.
Oh, my
If you're going to comply, I appreciate that. All right, it's now. You want me to do it again? Here's the setup. It is now time for Real Talk with our own Shelly. Everybody says Shelly Rio. It's now time for Real Talk with our own
Shelly Rio.
Oh my god! I'm so excited. So, have you guys heard that Akon wants to run for president in 2024?
No.
And
need
he
no-
also wants Kanye West to run.
We don't need no
Oh,
more
wow.
people that don't know nothing about politics to run for politics.
I mean, at this point, I feel like anybody's better.
We found out anybody ain't better.
We're not elected.
You have to
you're
at least.
selected.
I think you have to know something about Constitution, politics in general. I
That's
think
the most
America.
Negro. You
No,
gotta
no.
know something about Constitution.
I think you need to know something about what. Okay, like to
the
run
Constitution.
to be president of a. Let's say you want to be president of a movie studio, and you know nothing about movies. You're gonna run that company into the ground.
Well, Akon knows a lot about politics.
Well, he's saying that he feels like since he's an immigrant and as a black man, he says he feels like he knows that he can take the country and move it forward because
he took his country and built electricity in his country as well as
You know what?
well, he's saying,
electricity and running water.
you're so funny,
He
but
built Twistless.
he says right now
No, he brought electricity.
no, but right
What
now
is electricity? Because how much
Y'all
is
don't know
that?
what
that sounds like Tweety Bird. I used to love Tweety Bird back in the day. Oh, but he does like Six Flags and Tweety Birds. Yeah, that makes sense. But
He
anyway,
does run down.
real quick, Shelly, not to cut you off, but Akon's not even from the United
Oh,
States.
Electricity
at
is
this
a
point,
word.
who
You
cares?
so educated.
Nah,
No, but
Yeah, from
Electricity
want to
is
turn
a
on
word.
my twistity.
Said
It kept going.
electricity.
He want to turn on this twistity
tweet, tweet.
and keep tweet tweet.
Electricity.
Oh yeah, let the dog
I
on the
said
table.
that right.
Lights on.
Electricity
Yeah, go on and kick it, big homie.
and running water.
But he also feels like he's qualified because he's advising 30 African presidents right now, and so
He
It's
really
a
is.
different continent.
Yeah,
It
like
sure
you know,
is.
saying what
It
the hell,
sure
30
is.
African presidents
I
got to do with us?
think if we didn't learn anything else is that you cannot let someone run something as big as the United States and they have zero
Did you hear
training,
what I said?
zero.
After Trump,
You
need
are
that
not
training.
elected. You are selected.
Whatever you
does
want to
not
call
matter.
it, whatever
Does not
anybody wants to
matter.
call it, you cannot let it happen again. It can't happen again.
We need a Latino.
So what about Kanye West?
No.
what about him?
Because
I mean,
he
he's
running
been talking
But
that
I
for
mean,
a
the
minute,
fact
though.
that he even said that, okay, throw your hat in the ring, go on and run for it and see what happens.
I
Let's
gotta
see how
see.
you
You know, Kanye on that. I just got saved energy.
Yeah,
So
Man, that's some good energy.
and I ain't
I
mad.
know this. I'm not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
With no mic.
Because in my opinion,
Who?
you have to have a political background and a military background to be president.
That would help. That would definitely help.
So I represent Jesse Ventura. There's a guy that was
Jesse Ventura
The governor. Of, I mean, the
used to be.
governor of Minnesota,
Minnesota.
Governor of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, former Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Knows politics and military.
you also know, like he looked like he burned.
a little
crosses
scary.
and-
He's a little scary
You know.
for be
How
president.
Old, how old is she?
Yeah, I about to say you don't want.
He's 69 right now.
It's not bad. Okay, that's a good throw-in. What else you got there,
I want to
Shell?
look Jesse Ventura.
I also have.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys know? Unfortunately, there is a new strain of HIV out there. FYI, I don't know why you're laughing. This is a
How
serious
is it a
matter.
new strain? The old one actually works.
Yeah, like
Make sure we get that correct.
We're going to advance the
Yeah.
age
You don't need
because
to.
too many people are getting cured from the old age.
yeah, I don't know.
You guys are
So we're going to create some more AIDS.
What is it, Shell?
So well, it says the strain has been classified as subtype L in HIV-1 group M. I don't know exactly what that means because
Don't tell us
I don't
about
really
it,
know much
'cause
about
we don't know.
AIDS. But now instead of there being 2 strands, there's 3. So wrap it up.
How do you get it?
Sex
Well,
Blood transfusion.
pretty much, yeah, blood transfusion.
or blood transfusion. Yeah. sharing needles.
Government, please stop creating diseases.
But I feel like that's
I'm trying to run for president. Shit.
Stupid.
Fuck up my chance.
We don't need no more hits.
campaign money.
Basically,
Yeah, I need campaign money. Vote for Speedy. I'm running. Fuck it.
we're
I'll
not
run.
making no more medicine off regular AIDS.
if
If
you
you
could
are
just-
living longer,
You want
Create
to
a new
elect
set of
anybody?
AIDS.
Elect your boy. I'll run. What else you got, y'all?
So there's a daycare worker that fat shamed a 5-year-old boy, which is crazy. So this 5-year-old's mother always leaves him notes in his lunchbox, trying to encourage him, have a good day, whatever. And so she asked the teacher to read it to him at lunch because obviously he can't read. So this teacher decided that she wasn't going to read it to him, and she wrote a note back in the lunchbox and said, "No, put him on a diet and go away."
Wow.
So now the
Okay.
teacher was fired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly.
So here's my thing. It's like the parent whose kid, and well, I wonder what's in his lunchbox. I'm going to go.
Well, she did say that he is a very picky eater. And
No, he
But
wants to
here's the
eat what he
thing,
wants to
that's-
eat.
That's
It's
not,
not
Yeah,
picky.
that's not that teacher's business.
And he's 5 years old.
Right,
So
but-
how picky can he actually be? Motherfucker, you ain't got no
I
money
mean,
to buy
you,
with.
you would be Rio was very picky, a very picky eater, like literally annoyed the
I
crap
was
out
too
of me.
the bag, Shelly. Yeah.
Me too.
And he was eating healthy things. So, I mean, I
Okay,
don't know.
what I'm
But she
saying,
did say
at-
that she packed healthy options in his lunchbox.
Options.
Yes.
How about just packing? Okay, so if you put cookies and an apple, what do you think the kid's going to eat? That's an option. So you got cookies, apple.
I mean, it doesn't say that. So I
No,
can't really-
she said
Are you
options. I'm pretty
saying
sure that's what it
That's
is.
how
But the-
addictive cookies are.
Yeah.
I'm
starts
sure
off
it
that
is,
way.
but that,
So-
but that doesn't give the teacher the right
And he got
to
the
say
body weight
you
to
should
prove
be
it.
on a diet.
Well,
Yeah,
here's what
right.
here's my thing. It's not a matter of whether she should say it or not. I think what the teacher was trying to get across is instead of sending your kid to school with cookies and shit that's gonna make him fluffy, but want me to read a letter to him saying you're okay as a chubby kid,
Or-
how about take his little butt and run him up some stairs and you go running with him? Let's do that.
No, but-
or decline by just writing a note like I would prefer not to read these notes to your son.
But the note only said, "Please tell him that his
But-
mommy loves him so much. I'm thinking about
No,
him."
and that's fine.
That's
but
all she
it's,
wrote.
It's
But
the
why?
teacher's right. At
But,
the end of
but
the
why
day,
do I need to read that to him?
But yeah, at the end of the
Well,
day,
then
the
she- then
teacher
she-
just didn't want to read the note, and
Yeah.
instead of just saying I don't want to read the note, she shamed the kid.
Right.
Well, the kid can't read, so the kid doesn't know what she
No,
wrote.
I'm talking
what
about
she sent.
she sent it back to the mother, right?
Right. Yeah. She said, "No, put him on a
Yeah.
diet and
Yeah,
go
but
away."
how
Well,
is
that's
that-
shame the kid.
That's not shaming the kid,
That's
'cause
letting
the
the
kid
mama
can't
know.
read.
Right, right.
No, but like
Well,
this
she's
is
basically-
inappropriate. This
Yeah,
right to
She's
the mother.
implying that he's fat.
Right. She could have just
He
said I would
was
prefer-
fat.
Okay,
That's
but that's
why she-
not. But that's
But it's
not
none
her
of her
place.
business.
Yeah, it's none
Right.
of her
But it's
business.
also not her place to read the letter.
Right.
Right.
Well, if she wants to discuss anything, she can invite the mother into a meeting and have a discussion about it, but not like.
Or
some
she
But
can have a
here-
lesson
No,
on healthy
if
eating.
you sent me that letter and I would go and I see a little butterball fat motherfucker, what? Instead of writing him letters telling you love him, if you really love him, take his little ass running.
And let me tell you what my mother would have did. She
Draw
would
a
have
popcorn.
came back up to the school and been like, first of all, if you don't want to do your job,
That's
not
not her
what
job.
That's
That's
not
not
what
her
do.
job.
no, like I'm saying, if you don't want to do something I'm asking you to do, don't send me something back inappropriate. Just
Right.
decline. Like I would prefer not to read these notes to your child.
Right.
That's
But
it.
if I have to read a note to reassure him that you love him,
But it wasn't about
if you
the-
really love
it
him,
wasn't about the
take his little ass
reassurance.
running.
But that's
It was
not-
about the
that's not
teacher
nice,
not
though.
wanting to do something.
But just because
I'm not doing it.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't love her kid
I'm
because
right.
she's
Yeah.
not taking him running. Like
Yes,
that's
it
not-
is.
No, it's
Yes, it
not.
does.
No,
It does. It does
not.
mean she does not
Well, we-
love that
we
kid
don't-
because
first
if
of all,
she
we don't
did,
even know what this kid looks like.
Clearly.
Like,
he's fat.
First
Well,
of all,
but how do we
hold on.
know?
You
You
got
got
a lot
nerve.
of judgment on
You
the
got
fat.
your
people say you're
nerve.
fat, and you
let's
you,
talk about
you
that.
say you're not
You got
fat,
your
Speedy.
nerve.
I'm not.
what you
See, but you say
And I
you're
don't have a
not.
problem
Well,
with
the
it.
teacher
And nobody
might
needs to
have
read me a letter. You don't need to read me a
The
letter.
teacher might say, "Speedy, you're fat.
So
You
what's
need
wrong?
to go
No teacher.
run."
So what if he has a thyroid problem?
Right.
What if he?
Do you
No,
have a
exactly.
thyroid
What
problem?
if he is on prednisone?
No, I
We didn't discuss that. It could
He
be
has a
anything.
2 for 20 chilies problem.
Here's
Oh
my
my
thing. I
gosh.
think in America, goddamn, why do you need to write your kid a note saying "I love you"?
Why are you worried
But
about
that's
it,
not the
though?
point of
That-
the story.
because-
The point of the story
No,
is the
point-
teacher,
no,
the way she
no,
responded.
No, the
I'm
point of the
with
story,
Speedy. I'm
the
with
letter
Speedy.
became before the response. So it is the letter.
No, this
Yes,
is
it
this
is.
is my story,
No,
and
but
I
it's
say
how, it's how
How
she
you ever-
responded to the letter.
Okay,
She
nobody's
Right.
listening to
It's
me.
how she
I
responded
said
to the
no.
letter.
The problem was the letter was sent first. She responded to the letter, so you can't say, "Oh,
How
I'm
to
wrong"
respond,
because I
yeah.
responded to something.
I
you
gave you
sent.
my
hold on,
honest
hold on.
opinion.
She didn't respond to the letter. She reacted to the
There you
letter.
go.
And where
Right.
the place she reacted from, that was not the right place to react
Right.
from. That was inappropriate.
But I believe Again, if she loves her kid and you need me to tell him that you love him, because apparently you told him at home.
She asked you.
She's reinforced.
So you can
I shouldn't
decline.
have to. I shouldn't have to tell your son that
You
you
can
love him.
decline.
It should be Pop Warner football is what he should be playing.
Right. So why
Yeah.
would you encourage a child to be loved by their parent? But they're underpaid. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not
can't
even.
have both
It's,
sides
it's
of
not
it.
even that. Now, what if she take time out? Now she got 32 students.
Yeah,
she got to
that
take
need
time out
read
and,
to.
and tell them,
But
hey,
that's all she had
your
to
dad
say.
love you, your mama love
No,
you,
but that's
Group
all
home
she
love
had to
you.
say.
But
I don't have
social
I
time.
worker
shouldn't
love
have.
you.
No, I shouldn't even have to deal with that. You
Right.
shouldn't write me no note.
But
You know what? She
Write
didn't even have
that.
to
But
say
you're dealing with
anything.
my
She could have just
child.
sent it back, and nobody
like you
would
went
ever
into
know
a
if she
field
said it
where
or
you're
not.
dealing with.
Yeah, but I didn't go into.
attitudes,
But that's a
different-
therapist's job,
I'm
not
sorry,
a teacher.
What did you say, Great Poupon? I can't see.
No,
that.
David
That's
Ruffin,
what
give me a second. Watch this. Choir boy. It's actually the therapist's job to come in to reinforce to the parents
Oh, I got you.
that they love them. But the school teacher job is to teach the child,
And I
not
think
read an
it's
individual
totally
letter.
I mean, she could
appropriate.
have just ignored it and not said anything.
No,
but there
what
was
if she
no-
don't write it? How
but there
about
was
that?
no reason for the response that
That
she
doesn't
sent home with
matter.
it. It
Again,
doesn't matter.
the first act is the wrong act. To write me a letter saying, "Can you tell my son I love
How
him?"
is that the wrong
Why?
act?
You
It
didn't
is.
ask. You
Because
have the
that's
right
not
to
my
ask
job.
anything.
Okay, but she didn't.
You could
That's
say
like you
yes.
saying,
She
"Hey,
didn't have
Speedy,
to
can
read
you
it.
can you give
She
me a
didn't
ride
have
down the
to
block?" You
reply
don't have
to it.
to.
She
One
didn't
at
have
a
to do
time.
anything.
One at a time, guys.
No,
One at a time.
again, guys.
She was just asking a question.
But that's not for me to do. Again, this is your son. You should have told him at home you loved him.
How do you
if
know
you
she
should have
didn't?
showed, apparently you didn't. You want me to read it to him?
I mean,
Okay, but
that's
maybe
making
she
an
just wanted
assumption.
to let him know
You
again.
want me
like-
to read to him? You know your mom.
Maybe
loves
he
you.
got Alzheimer's and he need to hear it
You can
again.
just say no. If somebody asks you to clean, give
Because-
give me 100 grand. You just get to say no.
But I think
You
it's
don't get to
wrong for
bust
that
me in the
person to
face.
ask me for the 100,000. I think it's
Why?
totally
If
wrong
I
for them to
need it,
ask me.
I can ask you. You can say no.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, they right about
agree.
that
You
part,
can-
Speedy.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Okay,
you, but
okay.
They're right about the part
Okay,
on
Shelley.
how she
All right, let's go to my
responds.
next story.
Shelly, let's finish up with your story. Go
Okay,
ahead.
my next
No, I
story.
don't want to finish the story. I want to stay here.
So
Let's move forward.
this 78-year-old man in Maryland.
Let me
went to-
guess. He needs somebody to tell me he's cute.
No, he went to the bank.
You're
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Ah, that was a good time.
Let him
He
finish. Hold
went
on.
to the bank and withdrew a large amount of money and went home.
Oh, he got robbed.
And the bank teller
robbed
went to
him.
his house and robbed him. The bank teller that gave him the money, like that took the money out for him.
That bank teller was like, "Yeah, 100,000."
Where you live? Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right, Mr. Anderson on 54th and Crenshaw.
See you in a
He was
minute.
You have a
He
wonderful
came
day.
in like this. Lay down, Mr. Anderson. Lay down and read that note.
But Shelly, how did they figure out it was the like? How did the tailor even get caught?
Well, I don't
The
know.
teller.
Well, when they found the suspect, they realized that he worked at the bank, and so then when they went and
How much
investigated,
did he take? Or
it's
robbed
not
him for?
saying, but it's
Oh.
saying that he was charged with first and third degree burglary, first and second degree assault, and home invasion.
But how did he get caught? Is what I'm saying.
Well, because I mean, he wasn't home alone. There was people also there in the house, so
Oh,
they ran
so they-
upstairs, called the police. Yeah,
Oh, they got his behind.
So he didn't know.
Well,
He didn't know
what city?
Pawpaw had friends.
What city was this?
Maryland.
Florida.
Oh, it wasn't Maryland.
I wonder
Why you
how
always say Florida?
He blamed everything on Florida.
Because this is where the weird stories come from. Pretty sure.
But they're not going to say
Pretty
the
sure a
amount
little
of money.
fat
That's-
kid lives
That's
in Florida.
not weird.
I know that fat
That
kid.
was-
Well, he was a
What's with you
19-year-old
and-
kid.
We
so.
gotta have a talk.
Because that shit is.
What's with you and
that shit's
fat?
bothering the fuck out of me that I need to read a note to a fat kid and tell him his mama love him.
Okay, we're
You
gonna
fat
go.
You worse than the kids that talk about him.
him. What is with you and fat? You know how many obese
He
kids
grew
there
up
are
fat.
that hear this? You know, you're
Again,
really hurting a lot of
if
kids.
your mama needs me to read you a note, there's a problem with your mom.
Listen,
it's not
I,
about the note. You're obsessing about this.
He
kid,
got
this
body
obese kid.
dysmorphia.
What is this about?
I think you need a hug.
listen.
Is that what it is?
I need my hug.
Yeah, he
I
does.
need to go.
He's
I need
having
to
a
go.
flashback because when he grew up as a fat kid,
I was
nobody
never a fat
Read
kid.
him the note.
nobody read him a note,
That's what.
and he's
But
pissed
I was-
off that this
no,
kid.
see, you know, like
I
you
was
know how
never
when,
a fat kid.
when obese people start to lose weight and then they start seeing they so skinny, they hate the fat person inside of them.
That's Speedy.
All I'm
All
saying.
right, so one
That guy
more.
right
Let Shelly finish.
Yeah, go ahead,
up.
Right, I
Yes.
have one more thing. It's not necessarily a story, but just to bring awareness, there's a lot of sex trafficking going on right now in the United States all
Very much
around.
so.
And
Wow.
I just want to say, ladies, young, old,
Memphis.
whatever, fat, skinny, cute,
Be
whatever,
aware.
please be aware. And I know everyone's like, oh, you're so paranoid. Like, I'm not paranoid. This is really happening. Make sure when you park your car, there's not, weird cars parked next to you, tinted windows, vans.
Usually vans.
If you don't park near a van, but you leave and come back and then you're next to a van, go back inside, have someone walk you to your car, just wait. Like, do not put yourself in that situation. And as a personal thing, we all know I used to do videos and be a video vixen back in the day. A girl that I used to work with, her name was Susie Perez. She signed with an agency back in the day when, I was modeling, signed to an Italian agency, which turned out to be sex trafficking. And she's on the streets, cracked out. Like, this is like someone that I don't know her personally as in like over BFFs, but like it's someone close into the circle that I was in. So.
Oh, if you're
Be very
Ubering and
careful.
Lyft, pay attention.
If what?
If you're
Uber.
Ubering or Lyft,
Because a
pay
lot of sex
attention.
trafficking is coming out of there too.
Yeah,
so
right.
guys, be
Pay
very,
attention,
very,
pay
very
attention.
What do you
careful.
pay attention to then?
Look,
when
get
you
out your phone if you
The
notice
license
they
plates
take a lot
match
of
it.
turns.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to where
Right.
they're driving.
Let me add something
Pay
into there
attention.
also. Check the child safety lock before you get in the car.
That's a good one.
When you open the door for the Uber or for Lyft or Uber, make sure the child safety lock is off.
And he's speaking from experience because the kidnappers grabbed him before they realized
All right, this is
he
not
was
a
a guy.
joking time.
No, it's not, but I'm
No,
just saying
it's a
I had to
joking
get him
time.
back.
And also, if you get thrown in the trunk of a car, they say to break the back lights and stick your hand through there because somebody
It's
will see
way
you.
too much shit.
I'm just saying, you
Not-
never know. You
no,
have to be
it's not
prepared.
that.
It's
Like
really
this-
happening.
it's-
though.
it's-
Okay, and to
This is a real
prevent all
thing.
this,
This is
go
real.
take Krav
Boxing.
Maga classes.
Right. Right.
No,
Judo.
Krav
Right.
Maga classes.
Jiu-jitsu.
And the first person that's trying to hurt you will never hurt any woman ever again.
Bam, in your
There you
face.
go.
Give your information, baby girl.
Well, it's Krav Maga. I don't teach
No,
Krav
no, no.
Maga.
Your information. Your information.
Oh,
Your
you-
social
On
media,
social media.
Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, I'm Riker
philanthropy.
Striker on Facebook or just Lucia Riker.
Say it again.
Riker Striker on Facebook or just Lucia Riker.
All in one thing, homie. Bam. Catch
Sounds
one.
like an adult industry name.
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Riker Striker.
And guys,
Thank-
make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, we
Already.
only need a few
Well,
more people.
Yeah. Also, I think like predators, they will look at you first and they make
Decision.
a decision within
yeah.
a fraction of a second. If you're a woman by yourself, a man looks at you, he will walk up to you. If you're a woman and you're with another man or another person around you, he will scan you both first and then make the decision, which will slow him down. If your energy is up, you're in your head and you're like not really present, a predator will scan it and you become a victim just based on where your energy is at. When you work out, you ground yourself, or you do any type of self-defense or contact sport, he will sense not to mess with you, so he won't even come at you.
There it is.
There
There.
it is.
Also,
Advice?
parents, stop letting y'all kids wander off by themselves in grocery stores because I heard they grabbing
Yeah,
them from
they
the
are.
grocery stores as well.
They are.
So stop letting them wander off by themselves.
Apparently, you don't want mine. Let him wander off and
Well,
still
there's
made it back
Krav
to the
Maga
car.
for kids too. There's Krav Maga classes for kids.
Right.
They learn to be alert and aware around them, and also notice what is a danger and what's not. Because if you put fear in the kids to stick with their mom and their parents and be fearing every person out there, that's not okay either.
Right.
They need to learn to develop their own skills on scanning what's okay and what's not okay.
What's a good
da-
situation,
What's
what's
really
not.
dangerous.
Yeah. When to read the letter and when not to. We're going to take a quick break. It is Roll Out Live with Speedy and Friends, and I'll be Speedy up in this piece. Do not move. Take a quick break. Come right back. Don't move.